Guys, this is Tasnim. Welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I did this Parrot green eye look using some new makeup that I recently bought during quarantine. This looks like a makeup you would wear for someone's holud, but yeah, let's get started. So I started out with my base, for which I used the LA Girl primer. This was supposed to fill in your pores as well as your lines. I do not have any lines in my face, but as for the pores, it filled them in really nicely and gave me a very smooth finish. I overall really like the primer. For foundation, I used the LA Girl Pro Matte Foundation in the shade Light Tan. It has a moussey texture, something like the L'Oreal Infallible Matte Foundation. If you used it, you'll know. And it did blend out really easily in my skin. It does have a fragrance, however, so if you're sensitive to it, you might have to keep that in mind. It, however, gives you a beautiful finish, like a blurry matte finish. So if you have an oily skin, I'm pretty sure you're gonna love it. I loved it. It also builds up really nicely and gives you a full coverage look. This does come in a frosted bottle and I dropped it. Thankfully it didn't break, so you need to be careful with handling the foundation. You can't be clumsy like me. And now for concealer, I used the LA Girl Pro Concealer. I don't remember the shade. I'll mention it in the description box. All the products I use will be mentioned in the description box. Since the LA Girl Concealer was exactly my shade, I used the NYX Concealer to brighten up under my eyes and blended it out using the beauty blender. The LA Girl Concealer will give you a medium to full coverage. I just bought it, for my everyday use. For eyeshadow, I do not have anything new. I used the MORPHE X James Charles palette. From there, I took that yellow shade in a big blending brush and I applied it to my outer crease and outer corners. I'm not bringing it in. However, while blending, I did tap onto that green shade below the yellow shade, so it did become slightly green over there. So yeah, a bit of a mistake. I then took that Parrot green shade in a smudging brush and applied it to the inner corners and like 1/3 of my eyelid, and then blended it out using a beauty blender. Blending brush, a clean blending brush. I built the green color a total of 3 times to get my desired pigmentation. For eyeshadow, I did try out a new pressed glitter. This one was by Wet n Wild in the shade Bleached. However, I do not recommend this at all. It has a very Vaseline-y texture and looked very patchy on my eyelids. I don't know if you guys can see it. If you want to use it, make sure that you do not have any color placed underneath, or else it's gonna look very patchy. I tried to fix that patchiness by placing more of that green and yellow shade, but that clearly didn't help. Now we are going to be doing the lower lash line. For that, I took that hot pink shade in a smudging brush and applied it all the way through. Make sure to build the color and not apply so much at once. Now trying out the most hyped mascara. This is the Essence Lash Princess False Lash Effect Mascara. This mascara is really good. It will give you both length and volume. However, is it as good as my Benefit Bad Girl Bang Mascara? Definitely not. But then there's this huge price difference too. That one's 2000 taka and this one's 600 taka. So if you're in a budget, this one is good. And now I'll be trying out cream contouring for the first time using the LA Girl Pro Concealer in the shade Espresso. This product did have water in it. I ordered it from famacollection. It was raining when this product got delivered, so I'm guessing that must be the reason. However, I did apply it straight away to my hollows of my cheeks and it was too much of a product, so yeah, I do have to teach myself how to cream contour. Make sure you are slow-handed and not heavy-handed as I was. It did look a little bit muddy, but I'm gonna teach myself. I went with a beauty blender to make everything look nicely blended. I blended the hollows of my cheeks as well as my temples and my jawline too. And then whatever was left in the beauty blender, I applied it on my chin as well to give the illusion of somewhat bigger lips. I wanted to make it look very crisp, so I took some loose powder and did this crisp line. As you guys can see, I didn't let this sit, though. I straight away went with a clean brush and dusted off the excess powder. And finally we'll be setting the cream contour using this Beauty Rush bronzer, so apply it wherever you applied the cream contour. For blush, I went with the mauve shade from the same eyeshadow palette and applied it to the apples of my cheeks and dragged it all the way through, and finally blended it off nicely using the beauty blender so that there isn't any excess left. And now applying highlighter, I went with this gold highlighter from the Makeup Geek X Kathleen Lights highlighter. I applied it to the highest points of my faces, the tip of the nose, the bridge of the nose, my cupid's bow, and my brow bone. And for a lipstick, I went with the Colourpop lippie sticks in the shade Gold Digger. This was a pinky shade that perfectly matched the eye look. And yes, that's about it for today's makeup tutorial slash trying out new makeup. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Stay safe, and I love you all so much.